Hello, guys, and welcome back to Bets in Bed. This week, we got a loaded card. Not really. Not too much to bet on this UFC 234 card,
trash.
But we're going to do our best. But before we get into this upcoming card, we just have to make a little bit of note of my hot streak. I went 7-1 last week.
Stroke.
Nick didn't do too bad with 3-2. He probably would have went 4-2 had they left the Tony Romo.
That gets taken just off as the total. They took it off the board. Doesn't count towards a win or a loss, though that probably would have hit.
Yeah, more importantly, it seems like your boys are on fire. So we're looking to continue that into this next week. So I guess rolling right into things, how many bets are you fighting?
I got 3 fights that got picks.
I only got 3-2.
Low.
I looked up and down the card. It was just very hard to find interesting fights or fights that I didn't feel like I was wasting my money on. Because even some of the prospects that they have are like minus 300 favorites.
There was nothing that jumped off the page. I take that back. So going across it first, I had one thing that kind of jumped off the page, and then I kind of did the switcheroo on it to a reverse jumped off the page, and yeah, other than that, I'm throwing shit at the wall this week, people. We're gonna just try to see what sticks. There is nothing on this card that again, outside of one thing that I honestly would feel like go hit a home run with. Well, last week we had a couple of those, obviously.
I guess I have 3 to start, or 3 fights as well to bet on, so I'll start. First one that jumped out at me was I wanted to bet against him, and then I looked at the tape, but I like Sam Alvey over Jim Crute. I remember Jim Crute being a lot more of a beast in my head. I do like that he beat Paul Craig, who has notably wronged me, so maybe that's why he was more in my head. But Crute is just not that very good of a fighter. He's very young. He's a prospect. Sam Alvey, as much as he has he's like 30-11 or some shit like that, but he's only 32 years old.
An absurd record.
Yeah. He just...
And I don't mean that necessarily as a compliment.
No,
I
do not.
It's like absurd.
I don't know if you would ever give Sam Alvey a compliment. I just think the best thing close to a compliment is to say, he's not that bad. He's coming in a late replacement, though, which I don't like. I just think he's a better fighter, so I'm going with him at plus 120 it's at right now.
Okay, so I almost have the same thing. One, I just watched, first of all, beating Paul Craig, I look back. For some reason, I think everybody's got Paul Craig penciled in as this beast because of that last-minute triangle, because that's up on all highlight reels. Paul Craig has also been submitted by, he's lost to Tyson Pedro. He got subbed by Crute, and he lost to Khalil Roundtree. Those are 3 names that do not shout contender.
Stud, yeah.
Yeah, right. So not that Sam Alvey does, but I'm saying, and then you watch his Contender Series fight back, which he did win, first round knockout, but basically this dude's going to walk for my brief analysis of this fight. Again, we are throwing shit at the wall this week, people.
Yeah.
Crute is a willing brawler. He's going to come forward. Sam Alvey, shockingly, he doesn't look like an athlete at all.
No.
Defends takedowns very well, somehow. So, gonna be tough for Crute to get him down. Crute will walk forward, though, and if you don't walk forward on Sam Alvey, it's gonna be a 15-minute staring contest.
Yeah.
No one is gonna do anything. Crute's actually gonna walk forward. He gets hit a lot. I'm just gonna ride with Sam Alvey on the TKO line, and that's up at plus 255.
Damn.
So I'm just running Sam Alvey with KO. Sam Alvey's not winning a decision, I don't think, just because if it goes to a decision, that means Sam Alvey literally didn't do anything.
Yeah.
That's kind of my take on that.
That's true. I probably should have looked into the line more, but either way, I guess we're thinking alike there, so hopefully we get a little luck. Next bet for me, I'm jumping all the way to the co-main event.
Oh, this will be good.
Coming at no surprise to anyone, I am big on the style bender. Israel Adesanya is the truth, and I think you're an idiot if you don't lay the 600 down to get 100 and bet on Israel Adesanya.
That's a heavy investment.
My biggest thing that swayed me was how Anderson Silva has been acting these past couple weeks. It seems like he's doing the victory lap, where he's already he's got the vacation house picked out. He's just trying to get to the end. He's taking pictures with Adesanya like he's looking up to a superstar, already talking about wanting to fight in Brazil. He's for sure already penciled this one as a loss. He's just hoping to lose gracefully. I was thinking about doing it by TKO, but Anderson is pretty good at evading damage, and over 3 rounds, it seems a little bit short. 5 rounds, no question, TKO finish.
Yeah.
But I think it might be definitely one-sided, but Adesanya is pretty much, I think, safe money.
He's on island time. I do agree.
Yeah.
He definitely looks like he's just
Jimmy Buffett.
he's going through. Yeah, I mean, Silva's just going through the motions. And another thing that somebody brought, I forgot what show I was watching, but somebody brought this to my attention. So the Derek Brunson fight, which I think anybody with a brain can agree Anderson Silva lost.
Mm-hmm.
It's been like 5 years since Anderson Silva's won a fight officially, because the Nick Diaz was no contested. So he has looked like he is way past his prime. It just hasn't shown because injuries, then you fight Nick Diaz, then you get a cheesy win against Brunson, and it's like
you throw an illegal knee against Bisping, so you could say you deserve to win.
Right, then you fight DC on 1 day's notice, and it's like you had a bunch of stuff, but at the end of the day, hasn't had a win. There was none of it's on my card, but I did there were some steep lines for Adesanya in the second round. Adesanya by decision. There's a lot of props that you can play. I would not be mad if you take it any way if you're out there betting against. I just didn't want to lay the money, but I'm not mad at any bet that you go with.
Adesanya's second round is plus 330, and I was debating it, but I'm like, that's just getting cocky. Went 7-1 last week. Now I think I'm the Oracle.
Yeah.
But I'm just sticking with him straight up. But if you want to go ahead and do TKO, wouldn't be mad at you either.
Yeah, my second one is... I actually am very... This is just one of those things where I'm looking to try to give the people some advice, and I'm almost so nervous about it that I like it. It's like the opposite of my lock of the week this week, where I'm so sure of it that I can't possibly be right. This is the opposite. I'm so unsure, it's got to be right.
Yep.
But I got Devontae Smith by TKO over, name change, Dong Hung Ma, not Dong Hung Kim.
Is that a name change, or is he just a different person?
No, he was. They both, because there's 2 Dong Hung Kims.
Oh.
There was 2, and then I think this dude changed his name, and that's what they had.
That's a sign of weakness.
So this guy also fought with Marco Polo Reyes, and who has a great name, by the way.
Yeah.
Plus name there. He got dropped with a short clinch elbow. Not that Polo Reyes doesn't have power. Devontae Smith has power, lots of power. Granted, what easily could happen, this could be one of those fights where the TKO is just not coming from the opening bell if Ma just runs out, takes Devontae Smith down, and you just know the gas tank's going to be gonzo. But because Devontae Smith, cardio is in question. Definitely cardio is in question. I don't think he's had one of his last 6 fights go out of the first. Could be a problem. However, he throws heat. He's throwing to end lives. And Polo Reyes dropped Ma a couple times just in the first round alone. He ended up finishing him, I think, in the third, but Ma's there to be hit, and he's there to get in brawls. It's a similar thing to Crew. If you're gonna present yourself to be hit or put yourself in position to brawl, unless you're really slick, like Max Holloway, slip and rip slick, I'm probably going to just ride with the guy with the one-shot power. That's what I'm doing here. I'm taking Devontae Smith by TKO. That's coming in at minus 140.
140 for the TKO, wow.
Yeah.
What's the regular line at then? Minus
He's 260.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes... But, the only way he's going to win is probably, TKO.
If it goes to decision, I would, maybe a little bonus play, not going on my card, but Smith by TKO, Ma by decision, not the worst idea in the world.
Not a bad pairing there. And then... Moving on to my last pick, or my last fight I'm betting on. Everyone should know I am a huge, big fan of Robert Whittaker. Bobby Knuckles is just too bad of a man, and I'm telling you right now, that tubby piece of shit, Kevin Gastelum, no disrespect, you're not taking out.
He does look fat.
He does look pretty fat.
You've seen the latest embedded. It's dude, you aren't even. He's in that same boat as DC. Look. I understand how tough weight cutting can be.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to cut you off either. No pun intended. But, these guys, Kelvin Gastelum, it's physically impossible. I can't get to 70. And then you see him up a weight. By all means, DC is killing it at heavyweight.
Yeah.
Look, way more power. 10 times the speed as his opponents.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit of the same effect for Gastelum, but do not try to pull the wool over my eyes and tell me that you can't make 170, because you are thick as an understatement.
I saw the weigh-in or the face-off pictures. Gastelum looks 4 inches shorter than Robert Whittaker, who is coming up from 170. It's not like he's a monster middleweight either. But I think Robert Whittaker's just too much of a badass. Bobby Knuckles, like, after I was skeptical of the first time they were going into the Yoel Romero, Robert Whittaker, I'm like, Bobby Knuckles a bad man. I don't know who to pick. I was convinced by you, luckily, to bet on Knuckles, and then ever since, you just don't bet against him. So really, just one more fight. But if you could put Yoel Romero, a man literally made of steel, a man made out of a man made out of froyo is not going to is not going to stand a goddamn chance. And although I do think it is a little bit steep about Gastelum is very much being disrespected here. It's minus 235. So my lock of the week that I'm going with for double units is Whittaker just straight up minus 235, but I'm also taking him by TKO for plus 170 because I think just making it out alive in 5 rounds with Bobby Knuckles, you literally have to be made out of concrete. And even so, it almost doesn't work.
I think you're kind of going to know as long as he doesn't get hurt. Again, that has been happening to Whittaker a lot lately.
Which I think Gastelum actually could do. If Gastelum wins, it's going to be in the first or second round.
Yeah, you could definitely sting him for sure. But I just think with that fight, it could very well shout guys out on heavy hands. They said kind of the same thing where everyone's talking about Kevin Gastelum's boxing. Like, dude, you KO'd Bisping, who was coming off of just getting concussed 10 days prior. Does that really count? You KO'd, or not KO'd, you decision Jacare, which is all right, kind of good for you, but those are his two staple wins, I'm pretty sure, in the last.
Is there anyone major?
There's another one that I'm missing. I know there is.
Yeah, there was that because he was streaking before the Weidman fight, or at least streaking.
Yeah, I mean, no, I know he beat guys like.
I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah, look it up. But I don't think that his stand-up is remotely near up to snuff with Whittaker's technique-wise.
No.
I don't think that he hits as hard as Yoel Romero. He hits fucking hard. Don't get me wrong. He could knock out Whittaker, but I don't think he's got that instant explosion, say, that a Romero has, but he is, again, shout guys on heavy hands, they were saying, he is tough as shit. So this could very well be, a Max Holloway, Brian Ortega situation where Gastelum is just well, fuck, can't take him down, and he's just getting pounded on the feet for 4 rounds.
That's what I think. It won't be a matter of, he maybe, I don't think he's going to knock him unconscious, but it's going to be a point where the ref needs to step in because Bobby Knuckles is relentless. And the only thing I'm scared about is you can't deny that Gastelum, even being a fucking pudgy 170-pounder, hits like a motherfucker. He does drop people, and Robert Whittaker has gone down if he gets hit right. I went back, did myself the favor. I've just been watching Robert Whittaker from the beginning of his career, and it's crazy to see the progress. But one thing is, he does take some shots, and he gets wobbled. His recovery is great, but he does get wobbled. And I would just be really scared of a situation like TJ Dillashaw happened, where it's he got rocked. He was recovering the whole time, but Gastelum's just on it, where the ref just steps in and is TKO.
Slinging that gut power around. Power gut.
Until, if there's an early stoppage on a Whittaker fight, that ref deserves to be fired. Because if you could see that, you can't rule out Whittaker until you literally, have to take him out on a stretcher.
Rule him out.
Yeah, exactly. He's been deceased. Grab his arm, see if he has any sort of movement, or check his pulse, because if he's not dead, there's a chance he comes back. He's basically like Goku. You think you defeated Goku? No, dude. He's gonna find a way to come back and win.
And power up.
So I like both of those bets. And honestly, if Gastelum somehow wins, this might be the most painful loss I take all year. I am so much emotionally invested in this one that I can't afford to have Bobby Knuckles lose.
Until Brock Lesnar loses to DC. And then I will be crushed. Okay, so that's not mine. I stayed far away from the main and co-main this week. To get to mine, you have to... Well, actually, this did get bumped up to the main card, so you don't have to go that far down. But little battle of a low-key Baywatch that I did not really think. Montana De La Rosa versus Nadia Kasem. I was so far one way. I saw one press conference. Well, I've seen De La Rosa fight. Have never seen Kasem fight. I saw one face-off at the Media Day press conference about 3 days ago. That would be about on Tuesday, or whatever, Monday, whatever it was, earlier this week. I was so far one way on this fight, and then I did a little bit of backup research today, and I flip-flopped hard.
Who were you on first?
Originally, I could not have been more pro Nadia Kasem.
Really?
I was all in on the plus 220 dog line.
Why? Was she just like...
She just looked tall as shit.
Yeah.
And De La Rosa, I was not impressed with the competition. Like, a win over Rachel Ostovich means absolutely nothing to me, as we know. We've berated Paige Van Zandt for it multiple times. She's got, I think she's 9-4 or something, De La Rosa, whatever. Ultimate Fighter hype, but then you got hometown girl, Nadia Kasem, 4-0, 4 knockouts before she got to the UFC, then beat Alex Chambers in a decision. Okay, step up to the bright lights. Tall, rangy, athletic, they're both 23. And then I did a little bit of digging on those 4 knockouts. Combined record of those 4 fights that Kasem has had pre-UFC. Guess how many wins they have combined?
But 3 of them?
4 of them.
12.
0. Not a single one of them has a pro win, and that's not at the time that Kasem fought them. That's to date.
Wow.
0
Were they
combined
pregnant?
wins.
Like these pregnant broads just out here boxing?
Alex Chambers, UFC record, 1-4. Who did she beat? Kylan Curran. If we don't know who Kylan Curran is, she had a 1-6 or something UFC record.
Yep.
Horrible competition. I'm pretty sure, I didn't say this, I don't think I had this last week, I think I might have put this in a DraftKings post or something, but everyone was touting this Talia Santos last week, and she was fighting Maria Brumella, or whatever her name is. Everybody thought that Santos was going to, first round TKO, put her in the books, and I was like, the combined record of the girls that she's beaten, she was 15-0, was like 500. And it like 500 winning percentage. I'm not an MMA math conspiracist. I don't subscribe to all that, but you do need to like fight people that are actually fighters.
Yeah.
These 0 wins, you have 1 win over somebody who has wins. Like that, and the person that you beat, again, I don't subscribe to MMA math, but it's like Montana De La Rosa's fought multiple people that are above Alex Chambers level. So lock of the week is going to be Montana De La Rosa at -260.
Damn.
Lay the line. Also found out that was like a state wrestling champ, state something. Damn. So again, she's not that impressive. Let's be. I was not blown away, but I'm saying like how bad. Now they're both 23. They're gonna get better. They could get better. They both seem relatively athletic. They're both really good looking, so they have that going for them too. You're always gonna have a shot in the UFC if you're hot as a chick. I'm just saying, at this current stage of their Kasem, barring like a quick flash get, there's no way. Like, there's just no way. You haven't fought anybody. Lock of the week is Montana De La Rosa. Now, here's where the bonus picks come in. I don't trust Kasem at all. I talked myself so far into it. I'm also laying the De La Rosa by sub line at +135 and the De La Rosa by TKO line at +1300.
Oh, wow.
As long as it's a finish, we're making out here. That it's going yard. And I'm hoping the only reason I snuck that TKO line in there is because at +1300, as a champion wrestler or something, and this girl's going to end up on her back a lot, I'm just hoping that it just is an accumulation of like pitter-patter punches.
Yeah.
And then the ref just steps in and stops it sometime, probably in like the 3rd round when they're tired. That's the play. It's all De La Rosa all fucking day. I could not believe that I did not double fact check that until now, but I was so in. I was like all in on Kasem. I was like, oh, got a good dog pick for everybody this week. I was so stoked. And then today I was just like, oh, let me just go pull up some backup information on this.
Just to make sure.
Because I literally watch a couple YouTube, couple highlights. That's all it takes to sway me sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially on a trash card like this where it's like, how much research are you really going to do? And then I just was like, I should probably have like a little bit of a justification of why she's going to win. Can't find it.
Yeah, I don't have that on my card, but I will be placing that bet on Saturday. That bet will be. I might place it now just to make sure the line movement doesn't change after this video.
Unreal. Oh, for the field. Like 0-13.
So how many bets you got? You got 3 on that?
5
5
total.
alone? I got 4, so, I mean, you'll see how we do, but, yeah, we'll
If
be...
Montana De La Rosa loses,
We'll
gonna
we'll
be a
cut
tough
we'll
week
cut
for you.
we'll cut that from we'll go in and we'll edit the YouTube clip and just cut that whole last part out. But other than,
rant.
yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Follow us along at Below the Belt MMA on Twitter. We'll be live tweeting it. Follow him at _guy and Gee, and you can follow me at Bro Liba. Other than that, we'll see you guys next week for the what
First
card?
ESPN card.
ES
Actually good, not shit like this.
It's about 3 times as good as this, so you guarantee I'll have 3 times as many bets.
Yeah, no. Next week we might hit double digit.
Yeah.
Options. Next
We
week.
might break our first hour-long episode. Who knows?
Just
All right.
the entire card. It's top to bottom. Every
Every single one. All right, guys. Well, take it easy. Have a good one. Peace.